Good morning, everyone. Let's open. Yeah, so I'm following Rust programming language guide. So yeah, it's a book about the Rust programming language, and yeah, it basically covers everything regarding Rust. Has several projects. So yeah. Okay, this is the HTML. I posted the link on the video description for the book, and yeah, this is the HTML version. So I recommend you to read the foreword about its motivations for the book. Introduction. Who is this book for? So it assumes that you have already, you are already familiar with some programming language. That this is not your first language. So yeah, that you are already familiar with the basic concepts of programming. And yeah, so this is it. So let's get started. I created a GitHub repository where I will be uploading these tutorials, so I'm already on it here. So yeah, you can check my GitHub page and then clone it afterwards. So yeah, so let's get started. I don't have any previous experience with Rust, and I don't even have Rust installed. So yeah, I will be installing on my machine, which is Ubuntu 22 with Linux, right? So let's get started. Let's start your Rust journey. There's a lot to learn, but every journey starts somewhere. In this chapter, we will discuss installing Rust on Linux, macOS, and Windows. So yeah, you can follow through your operating system and write a program that prints hello world. Yeah, of course. And using Cargo, it's a Rust package manager and build system. Okay, so installation. First step, okay. We'll download Rust through RustUp, a command line tool for managing Rust versions and associated tools. Okay, note, if you prefer not to use it, no, I would use it. Following steps install the latest stable version of the Rust compiler. Rust stability guarantees ensure allow examples in the book, so book the compile will continue to compile with newer Rust versions. The output might differ slightly between versions because Rust often improves your message. Okay. Command line notation. This chapter and throughout the book we show some commands in the terminal. Let me check if everything is working. Yeah, do we have any? Okay. Yeah, I believe it's working. Yeah, so line set should enter terminal start with the $sign, right? So yeah, installing PowerShell specific. Okay, so installing RustUp on Linux or macOS. So if you're using Linux or macOS, open a terminal and enter the following command. So it will be curl https protocol. So this is the URL. Use TLS 1.3 for security. And okay, so let's just copy this and yeah, go right here. Whoops. Yeah. Okay. Cargo, another command will be added to. Okay. The path then we have to path environment variable we modify bash profile bash rc. You can install anytime RustUp self install and this change will be reverted. Current installation options. Okay. Default location, modify path variable. Yes, proceed with installation, customize installation. Cause let's see if there's anything we should be. Yeah, no, we shouldn't modify anything. So yeah, proceed with installation. Yeah, profile set default. So it's downloading a bunch of stuff, and yeah. Cargo, Clippy Rust docs, Rust std. I believe it downloads also this book, so you can check it from the command line, like a sort of man page from Linux. Okay, so Rust is installed. Great. To get started, you may need to restart your current shell. To configure your current shell, run. Okay, so source. So let's also source .bash rc. Okay, so I believe it's installed properly. And okay, the command allows the script to start the installation of the RustStop tool, which installs the latest stable version of Rust. You might be prompted for your password. Okay, if the install is successful, you the following line will be Rust install now. Great, yeah. You also need a linker, which is a program that Rust uses to join these compile outputs. Let me check something. Okay. Compile in 1.5. If you, it's likely you already have one. If you get linker errors, you should install C compiler, which will typically include a linker. Sorry about that. A C compiler is also used because some common Rust packages depend on C code and we need a C compiler. Okay, so yeah, we already have that covered. On macOS, you can get a C compiler, so yeah, we don't need that. Installing RustStop on Windows, so if you for some reason are using Windows, then you should follow this here. Troubleshooting to check whether you have Rust installed correctly. Open a shell. Open a shell on Rust C version. So it's Rust C compiler. Yeah, so it's working. We have this installed. And you should version number. Okay, commit hash. Yeah. Okay. This information have so Rust successfully. If you don't see this version, in Windows, okay, so yeah, it's working. Updating and installing. Once Rust install your RustStop, updates on new with the version is easy. From the shell, run the following update script: RustStop update, and for installing RustStop self on install. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. RustStop doc. So let's check it. RustStop doc. Is not readable. Yeah, that's weird. Access was denied. That's how we try with sudo. Yeah. Access denied. Well, we'll have to look it up. Open local organization to. Okay, so we have one issue already, but yeah, we can look that up later. Okay, so let's go for the Hello World chapter. Okay, now that you start Rust, it's time to write your first Rust program. Okay, so additional Hello World, basic familiarity with command line. The editing, feel free to use your free IDE. Many IDEs now have some degree of Rust support. Check the IDE's documentation for details. The Rust team has been focusing on enabling greater. Okay. So create a project directory. Start with create a directory. Open terminal, enter the following commands. Okay, so I already create a project folder that I'm working with. Will be the Rust tutorials, and we can separate by chapter, like chapter 1. Yeah. So Windows is slightly different. Writing and running a Rust program. Next, make a new source. Okay, so let's create touch main.rs. Okay. So yeah, I could already be using VS Code. So for the simpler programs, I will just stick to terminal. Okay, Rust files always end with rs extension. If you're using more than one word in your file name, the convention is to use an underscore to separate that. For example, use hello world or hello underscore world or rs.rs rather than okay. Open our main file and create the code in listing. Okay, so we have a function main, and then print line and then exclamation mark. Yeah, it's a bit weird. Okay, let's try this out. Main and curly brackets, and I know I can just copy the code and paste it, but I will type it chart by chart to fixate better. So hello world, I'm learning Rust finally. Okay, so yeah, so and of course, so this is I guess seems familiar to oops, just fn here. Okay, so fn stands for function. Okay, so it's already pretty familiar for C, C++, JavaScript, Java, and Golang developer. Like you have function main and then curly brackets and then semicolon to end a programming statement. So yeah, but I don't know about this exclamation mark really. It sounds weird at first, but I guess there's a good point for it. So yeah, save the file, go back to terminal window. Okay, on Linux or macOS, enter the following commands to compile and run the file. So yeah, we run rust c main.rs to compile, and yeah, then it would generate the binary, pretty much like C and yeah, it works. Hello world, I'm learning Rust finally. Yeah, so let me check Twitter real quick. Yeah, so dear God. Okay, let's go back to it. And okay, so Windows, regardless of your operating system, the string hello world should print as if you don't see it, okay. If hello world not print, if it did print, congratulations, you officially written a Rust program. It makes your Rust program welcome. Anatomy of a Rust program. So let's review program in the detail. Here's the first piece of the puzzle: function main. Okay, the main function especially is always the first code that runs in every executable Rust program. So pretty much like C, C++, Golang, and so on. Here the first line declares a function named main that has no parameters and returns nothing. If there were parameters, it would go inside the parentheses. Yeah, so function body is wrapped in curly brackets. Rust requires curly brackets around all function bodies. So yeah, pretty much like C, C++. It's good style to place opening curly brackets on the same line as a function declaration, adding one space in between. Note: if you want to take standard across Rust project, you can use automatic formatted tool called Rust format. So is probably linter, right? So to format according to particular style. Okay, more Rust from Appendix D. The rest includes this tool as a standard express distribution. Okay. So the body of the main function was the following code. So design is a lot of work. There are 4 important details noted. First style is to indent with 4 spaces, not a tab. Okay. Second, print line calls a Rust macro. If it had called a function instead, it would be entered as print ln. Okay, without the exclamation mark. Oh, so that explains the exclamation mark. So yeah, so this calls the macro, and then without the exclamation mark is the function itself. We discussed Rust macros more detail in chapter 9. So yeah, we're pretty far from that. For now, you just need to know that using exclamation mark means that you're calling a macro instead of a normal function. The macros don't always follow the same rules as functions, so it's pretty much like C. So in C you can also define macros and call it sort of like it was a function, but not quite a function. So yeah. Third, let's try running it without the calling the macro. So yeah, compile, not a function. Print expected function found macro print line. Okay. So I already like the compile error messages, like they're really informative, and yeah, I heard people say a lot that Rust compiler warnings are like and errors are like very informative, different, like for example C++ compiler, which is, you know, a total nightmare. So yeah. Okay, so let's compile again, and yeah. So yeah, there's cd string. We pass the string as an argument. String print on the screen. Fourth, we end the line with the semicolon, which indicates the expression is over. Okay, so pretty much like C and C++, JavaScript, Java. You just run a nucleated program, so let's examine each step in the process. Before running a Rust program, you must compile it using OK. If you have C or C++ background, you notice that it's similar to GCC or CLang. Yeah, it's similar. After compiling successfully, Rust outputs a binary executable. On Linux, OK. And then let's see 2 files. You see the same 3. Okay, this shows the source code with RS extension. Executable, yeah. If you're more familiar with the dynamic language, just Ruby, Python, JavaScript might not be used to compile and run your program as separate. Rust is an ahead of time compile language, meaning you can compile a program and give the executable to someone else. Yeah, so pretty much like most compile languages I'm familiar with. Just compiling with Rust C is fine for simple programs, but as the project grows, you'll want to manage all the options and make it easy to share your code. Next, we introduce you to the Cargo tool, which will help you. Okay, so let's go to it. Hello, Cargo. Cargo is Rust build system package manager. Your station uses tool to manage your cargo, has lots of tests to do, have code on the libraries. Okay. Don't have any dependencies. If we had built the Hello World project Cargo, it would only use the part of Cargo that handles building your code. As you write more complex Rust programs, you have dependencies, and if you start a project with the Cargo, okay. Because the vast majority of Rust projects Cargo, the rest of it is book. As soon as you're using Cargo to Cargo installed with Rust, okay. So let's check if it's installed fine. Yeah, it's working fine. Okay, create a project with Cargo. Let's create a new project using Cargo and look at how it differs from the original Hello World project. Navigate back to the project. Okay, Cargo, new, Hello Cargo. Okay. So Cargo, new, Hello Cargo. Okay, created binary application Hello Cargo package. Okay. First command creates a new directory and project called Hello Cargo. So yeah, it's there. We name our project Hello Cargo and Cargo adds its files. Okay. Go to the Cargo list of files into files. Okay, let's check it out. Yeah, so I have cargo.tom and source. So let's check source, and here's our, yeah, it has you see the cargo generated files on cargo. Okay, it also has initialized a new Git repository along with the git.ignore file. Okay, Git file won't generate if you run Cargo new with an existing Git repository. You can override this behavior by using Cargo. Okay. So I already generated in a Git repository, so yeah, it's Git files won't get generated. Let's check what is on this cargo.tom. So yeah, package name, version, edition, CMAR keys. Okay. And then we have source, and yeah, just yeah, main.rs function. Okay, open Cargo. Yeah, so we'll check it. You already check it out. Tone obvious minimal language format, which is Cargo configuration format. The first line packages section indicates all statements are configuring a package. As we add more information to this package, we add another section. The next run, the configuration pipe. The name, the version, and edition of Rust to use. We talk about the edition key appendix E. Last time dependencies. Let's check it. Oops. Okay, so we don't have any dependency. Start of your sector project dependency red package code or Redis crates. You won't need any other crates for this project, but we'll in the first project for chapter 2. So we use this dependency section then. Now open main.rs and take a look. So yeah, it's pretty much the same. Cargo is generated Hello World project for you, just like the one you wrote to listing. So where are the different let's go on source directory and src, right source. Cargo expects source code to live inside the source directory. The top, yeah. So it's pretty much the same convention as used for Python, C, and so on. Top level project directory, just readme files, license information, configuration files, yeah. Blah 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 blah. If you start a project that doesn't use Cargo, as we did it over, you can convert it to a project that does use Cargo. Move the project code into the source directory and create an appropriate cargo.toml file. Building and running Cargo project. That's different. Okay. So from your Hello Cargo directory, build your project by entering the following cargo build. Okay, so we have. Okay, so we compiled and I believe it's cargo. Let's take a look. It is generated automatically. Okay, so we have the target, which I believe has our binary. Yeah. Yeah, it has the binary and a lot of other folders. Okay. Yeah, this command this command creates an executable file in target. So yeah, target debug dot hello cargo. Yeah. Because default build is a debug build, cargo puts a binary directory name debug. You can run. Okay, so we already did it. If all goes well, hello world should print to the terminal. Yeah. Running cargo build for the first time also calls cargo to create a new file top level cargo.block. This files keep track of the exact versions of dependencies in your project. So like pretty much, I believe. Nodes have when you use npm package manager for nodes, it also has a lock file. Yeah, it's pretty similar. So this file keeps track of the exact versions of dependencies in a project. So yeah, we don't have any dependencies, so the file is a bit sparse. You will ever need to change file manager. Cargo manages contents for you. We just built a project with cargo build, okay, but we can also use cargo run to compile the code and then run the result and executable in all one command. So cargo run pretty much like Go. Yeah, we have pretty much like the Golang compiler has something similar to this. Like you just type go run and then it runs the code and then you don't compile, and yeah. So using cargo run is more convenient than having to remember to run cargo build and then use the whole path to the binary. So most developers use cargo. So yeah, it's a good command to remember in the future. Notice that this time didn't see output indicating the cargo was compiling. Hello cargo figured out that files hadn't changed, so we didn't rebuild. We just ran the binary. If you had modified your source code, cargo would have rebuilt it. Yeah. So finished. Yeah, it was already compiled. Cargo also provides a command called cargo check. This command quickly checks your code to make sure it compiles, but doesn't produce an executable. So yeah, let's run cargo check. Yeah, so why would you not want an executable? Often cargo check is much faster than cargo build because it skips the step of producing an executable. If you continue checking your work while running your code, using cargo check will speed up the process of letting you know if your project is still compiling. Okay. As much main restriction you run cargo check periodically as a write program. Then they run cargo build when they're ready to use executable. Let's recap what we learned about cargo. So we create a project running cargo new, then we build using cargo build. We can build and run using cargo run, and then check a binary for errors with cargo check. Instead of saying cargo's additional advantages are the same no matter which operating system. So yeah, these commands are same for every operating system. I don't know what this is. Okay, so building for release. When the project is finally ready for release, yes, the lives will be available, like the one I did yesterday about Java, and yeah, no, I think I'll go with VS Code. Yeah. Yeah, cargo. Let's try cargo build release. Okay, so target, so now we have a release here, and then yeah, it's pretty much the same. Compile with optimizations. This command will create an executable. Okay, so we already check it out. Optimization make your Rust code run faster, but turning them on lengthens the time it takes for your program to compile. Yeah, there are two different profiles, one for development, when you want to rebuild quickly and often, and another for building the final program you give to an user that won't be rebuilt period. If for benchmarking your code's running time, be sure to run cargo build release and benchmark with the executable in target release. Okay. So like if you use Visual Studio yeah, for Microsoft you have different versions, like for C# or build and release, and so yeah, I guess for C you could also configure with and without optimization and so on. Okay, so cargo is unconventional. It's simple. Cargo doesn't provide a lot of value over just using Rust C. So yeah, with small projects you can simply use the Rust C compiler without using cargo. Yeah, so once programs go to multiple files or need a dependency, it's much easier to let cargo coordinate the build. Even though the whole cargo project is simple, uses much of the real tooling, use the rest of the Rust courier. In fact, to work on this product, you can use the following commands to check out the code using git, change to that project's directory, and build. Yeah, so it's the git workflow, and we're cloning from a remote repository. So yeah, we completed chapter 1, which is basically we built a hello world program and then learned how to use package manager for Rust and for building. I think I'm gonna add these comments to a readme file here, so let me go to so I create a readme.md here for chapter 1, and then chapter 1 compiling, and then run rust c main.rs, compile and run. We simply run what was the command again? This is cargo. We simply where is it? I think it was with cargo run. Okay, so cargo package manager. So we have here install the stable version, check cargo version. Cargo. So create new project. Oops. Create new project. Cargo building cargo build. build and run. And what was cargo check? So yeah, check for errors, cargo check. And finally, building for release. Yeah, it's cargo build with the flag release. Okay, so this is pretty much it. I missed something. Yeah, I think this is it. Yeah. Let me open. You open Visual Studio Code here. So open folder. Here we have REST tutorials, chapter 1. Okay. And let's check the preview here for README. Yeah, so it seems okay. So compiling, cargo, create new project, cargo build, cargo run, check for errors, and yeah. So all right, we are gonna commit this to I'm gonna commit this to my Git repository so you can check later. So git commit chapter 1 hello world. Okay, so yeah, so git push. Okay, so for you there you can I think I will post this the link after. So tomorrow I guess I will end up for today since it's already midnight, and I went a little late working today. So yeah, tomorrow I guess I'm starting with chapter 2, which is programming a guessing game. So it will be the first project from this book, the Rust programming language. So yeah, hope you guys liked this tutorial. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, activate notifications. So yeah, these lives here mostly I guess I will be doing them around 10 p.m. Yeah, GMT -3 like Brasilia standard time. So yeah, I don't know, I'm not sure, but around that time. So yeah, see you next time.